Okay, so business cards, these are done by moo.com. Feel them. They're thick. They've got rounded edges if you choose. And they're moo, M-O-O.com. Moo, like a little cow sound. Exactly, perfect. Moo.com. Here's why I love these. I can print 100, and I didn't do it on these. I can print 100 of these cards with the same front, and I can have 100 different photos on the back. So I would have 100 different cards. Wait, think about it. What can we do with that? Some really cool stuff. So if you buy a pack of 100, for example, and you have different photos, maybe you have different niches that maybe you attend 2 different networking groups. One is wine drinkers, and one is puppy lovers. Wouldn't you have a puppy picture on the back of this one and a glass of wine on the back of this one? Well, let's get even more creative, and hopefully your juices will start flowing around this one. Ready? When we didn't have internet, I had to figure out viral without internet. Somebody tell me what viral means.
Something that's streamed frequently.
Streaming frequently. It's something that's spread, right? Without you having to do it anymore. You do it once and it goes out. So we didn't have, in the 90s, we didn't have internet, right? So I had to figure out viral. And viral made sense to me when the internet came around and Facebook went live and we had the power of 100 and viral. That all made complete sense to me. It was a no-brainer because I had been doing it all my life. You take these little cards, you get a product called Listing Booster, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and you build a website. Actually, you don't build it. It does it automatically for you. The website is built for you on the new listing that you just took. And it gives you a URL address. So you're going to take these business cards and you're going to put the URL address up there. And at the very top, you're going to write, now exclusively offered for $1.1 million. And here's the URL address. You write it there. And then you put your information at the bottom. Tony Ray Baker, Tierra Antigua Realty. Call me at this phone number, right? On the back, I usually print 4 or 5 different cards with my favorite pictures of that house. So I have a $1 million listing and I print 5 of these, 5 cards, 5 photos on the back. One's of the beautiful kitchen, one's of the amazing view, one's of the great room. I pick the 4 or 5 photos that I think are the most interesting to people. And then my information's the same on the front. I buy a pack of 50. Now how do we make it go viral? I throw them everywhere, just like this. I actually go hire a seller. I take them to the seller, the owner of the listing, and I hand them the pack. Mrs. Seller?
Wow, I love these pictures.
I do too. They're your house. You've done a fabulous job.
Wow, I'm going to pass it out to all my friends and family and everybody else I know.
You are, because it's her house. I just gave her her house, her website, in her hands. And I'm going to tell her, one of the things we know in Tucson especially, and I'm pretty sure it works in most cities, is that the buyer is typically less than 6 degrees of separation from her. Usually a friend of a friend or a friend knows who is buying that house. We're all that connected. So when I tell that story to my seller and I explain to them, it's imperative that you get these out and give them to anybody you come across and tell them your house is for sale. What is the seller doing?
Advertising for you.
And marketing me. I just went viral. Really super inexpensive. I don't know what they cost. $30, something like that for a pack of 50. Here's the other cool thing. You only have to buy like a pack of 50. You don't have to buy 1,000 cards. You buy just enough for your listing and you go give them to the seller and the seller helps you sell, right?
What was the website or the...
Moo.com, M-O-O, like a moo cow, like the sound a cow makes. And little baby moo cow will update you as your cards are being processed. So Listing Booster, a product we're going to talk about in a little bit, actually makes a website for you, and I'm going to tell you about that in a little bit. Right now, because we have Brian here, I'm going to give Brian, I want you to give the gift, get the gift of Brian. We met a year ago. Brian did not know when we met a year ago. I had been watching Brian for the last 10 years. Brian's show was really focused primarily for loan officers and lending originally. And then Brian and Frank actually started adding more and more content that sucked me in, which was marketing and real estate. And then the cool thing was I started to really understand lending more. And the more I started understanding lending, the better I became as a realtor to help my clients to make sure they understood what they needed to know about lending. And I'm not a loan officer, but now I know how to make sure they get the right experience. And I know how to plant seeds with them about lending to make sure they ask the right questions. So Brian's show really was imperative. So Brian for me was my real estate, and is still today, my real estate celebrity idol. And when he sent me a message that he was coming here for this class, it was not pretty around my house. Because I think probably Darren, who had to leave, was probably ready to kill me. Because it was like, he's coming to Tucson and he's staying with us. And I was like having a heart attack. So like literally yesterday, we kicked my mom out of her house, we remodeled it, put in new carpet for him to stay. Kinda almost. We seriously did everything in 2 days to get a house ready for him, and it was hysterical. It was the house my mom was living in, and she moved into a new home, but we literally moved her on Sunday and took out all the carpet and remodeled the house and got it all ready for him to come in. This is how excited we were. So with great respect and love, I bring you Brian Stevens, and he's gonna talk to you right now about some video. And if you would, can you
I can do whatever you want.
talk about authenticity, because Brian is the master at authenticity, which is one of the reasons I was so attracted to your show. And I'm going to leave you with that.
Authenticity. Well, I could buy a real estate contract for $1.25 down at Staples, fill it out, and it's a binding contract.
Yeah.
I actually sold a house to my old broker, and I live in Vacaville, California. That translates to Cowtown, California. You know, not everybody in California is Jeff Spicoli from Fast Times at Ridgemont High. It's like we literally are in a small town. But I sold my house to my then boss in the mid-90s on a napkin. And it was a binding contract, and we never filled anything else but that. My point is this, it's not to diminish what a real estate agent does out there. On the contrary, I think that you guys are more important in the whole process now more than ever. But the only commodity that you have, not your biggest commodity, not your best commodity, but your only commodity is you. It's the same thing for lenders. I mean, you guys all get lenders, they're all hitting you up for your business all the time, don't you? You know, I can do everything, I'm a great communicator, I've got Fannie, Freddie, Ginnie, you know, I'm a direct endorsement lender. What the hell does that mean? And who cares, right? Everyone's selling the same product at the same price and promising the same things if you're selling real estate or lending. So your only commodity is you. That's it. Begins and ends with you. Now, one of the things that me and Tony Ray have conversations about is, you know, we like to pile on Zillow and stuff like that. And I'm very, very proud to say through my little silly blog that I started a couple of years, well, 10 years ago, 11 years ago, I have over 200 million views on it. I've testified before Congress. I get asked to speak on all the national news programs as a real estate lending expert, and I'm just laughing my ass off. I'm like, if you're coming to me, this industry is screwed, but I'll do it. I'll totally do it. Absolutely do it. But, you know, me and Tony Ray, we will rail on a lot of the people that you simply cannot compete against. You can't compete against Zillow. You can't do it. They're buying and selling houses. They're in Phoenix. They're opening up new markets. You can't do it. They've got more money than you. They've got more reach than you. They got more money than every real estate firm in the country combined. They've got better technology than you will ever have. You will never compete with them. And this scares the hell out of people. It's the same thing with Rocket Mortgage. I go around and I talk to lenders all the time. They're losing their mind on Rocket Mortgage. And then you get groups like Guarantee Rate. They're going to get better technology. And you'll never get better technology than Quicken. It won't happen. They've got more money than you. I remember before I went out, Dan Gilbert invited me out to Michigan to go talk with them about 6 months before they launched Rocket Mortgage. And I said, oh, You're trying to take away the loan officer's job. And he sat there and laughed. And I know for a fact that he's got $50 million into programming on that thing. It's nuts. No one will never compete against it. I'm painting a pretty ugly picture, huh? But here's the cool thing. If you see your job and your existence as an opportunity and you want to preserve it, you need to have that battleground. Need to have that fight on your terms, not on their terms. You need to have it on your terms. And that's what I love about Tony Ray. Tony Ray, I've been listening and taking notes about everything you've said. I got a whole bunch of great content to bring back to my people. But it's all about kind of what you do in your life. And the first thing that Tony Ray does when he brings me down here yesterday, he says, hey, let's go up this hill and look at the city. Well, I like to take my clients up here and I like to show them the overview, the physical, the manifestation of Tucson, Arizona. I like to show it to them and show them the different areas as I'm doing for you right now, because then we can kind of target the areas that they want to live and we will take them on a tour. I said, so you're really selling an experience is what you're selling. That was my exact word to you. You're selling an experience here. What a great idea. Where did we go to dinner last night?
Sinetai.
Sinetai. Who's the owner? What's her name?
D.
D. And silver-haired, beautiful hair.
Yes.
You said she's got a great, what'd you say about
She's
her?
beautiful energy.
Beautiful energy.
Yeah.
You go in there a lot,
Spirit
right?
and energy as much as I can.
She knows you.
Yeah.
You know what's kind of funny? We go in there, she comes over, she gives Tony Ray a hug, and then she goes back and she cooks the food. She's got a restaurant in San Francisco too.
Yes.
She's quite accomplished.
It's
You know a lot about that place.
Yes.
She's really good.
A lot of you guys know it. Yeah. You want to know something? Zillow will never know that. Zillow doesn't know that owner. Zillow's not going to take me to that hilltop and show me the town. Zillow ain't going to do any of that. See, as far as I can tell, you all have the same problem. You need to close 1 or 2 more transactions per month. That's pretty much it. So theoretically, you could talk to 3 people if you convert 2 every month to say yes and buy what you're selling. In our case, that's money and houses. Then you're going to win. Is that fair? If you added 24 transactions to what you're doing, would that solve all the problems that you have in real estate? Considering your average real estate agent is closing under one side of 1 transaction every single quarter, hell, that would be a 300 to 400% increase in income for a lot of you. But it's really a micro problem. You only need 2 people per month. And this industry is just shoving all this automation and macro down your throat. No, you got to have bigger lists. You got to get 1 billion views. No, you don't. You need to slow down and get to know the people whose business you covet, and you need to let them get to know you, because people buy from who they know, like, and trust, and we all know that. So I go to my original point. Not only is your best commodity you, your only commodity is you. And here's the cool thing about people. They're actually kind of cool. You know? They're really kind of interesting. If you sit down and talk to anybody, you're going to find they've got an interesting story. But it requires you to actually sit down and listen, doesn't it? And to ask those questions. You know, nobody likes to be sold, but everybody likes to buy. So we have to get to know people, don't we? I'm going to tell you a little funny story, and I don't know what direction I'm going to go in the next 15 or 20 minutes. We'll talk about some videos and what you guys can do. I have a very interesting little story with my friend Linda Hall. She lives up in Phoenix, the big busy city that never ends up the road from you guys. And so I went there, and she took me to a coffee shop in the morning, and it's kind of very similar, and not so ironically, Tony Ray takes me to a breakfast place. Once again, he knows everybody over there. So, Zillow, and you guys all have your own spheres of influence, don't you? You all have places and stuff that you do. But anyway, so Linda Hall takes me to this coffee shop. And we go there, and she says, oh, hey, you gotta buy these donuts. You gotta sell these donuts. I'm like, I don't want donuts. She says, gotta sell the donuts. Gotta sell the donuts. Whatever. You know, I'm along for the ride. Okay. So I go in there, and there's this like 60-year-old dude, just strapping, way more handsome than I. You know, he's older than me. He's in better shape. I'm like, I hate you. And like, and I walk in here, and this big strapping older man, he goes, oh, hello, Brian. How are you? And I said, shit, he knows me. That's kind of weird. You know, Linda's convincing me that I have to go try these donuts. You know that she's becoming an advocate for his business? Registers with me. He did something to get her to tell me to eat them donuts. You need people to tell their people to buy houses from you. It's the same thing. This is plug and play different things. So here's the deal. So these donuts, you go in there, and he bought a little kiosk. He doesn't even own the coffee place. And these donuts, they'll all drop out. And then they, the dough things, and then they flip over, and they put them in the grease, and they flip over, and they drop out the other side. He can make 1,500 little mini donuts an hour. And then he puts, the sugar or the chocolate or whatever you want on them, and for $2 you can buy some donuts. Great. Fantastic. For that rare occasion when I want to have a stomach ache for the next 3 hours and I want to eat a bunch of deep fried dough with sugar on it, perfect. But anyways, it was funny. Linda Hall goes, she tells me, she goes, and I've known Linda I've known Linda for 20 years. She's like my sister. She goes, hey, Brian. She goes, that guy in there? He used to play for the Washington Redskins. I said, oh, well, that's neat. And she goes, he only played one game. He hurt his neck, and, well, that's kind of a bummer. But that's a lot of discipline to get to that point to play one game. And can you imagine how horrible that would be? He goes, well, it worked out really well for this guy, because people like to golf, not me. But apparently in Scottsdale, there's a lot of people who like to golf there. Very peculiar to me from California, seeing all this green grass out in the middle of the desert. I'm like, don't people know that it doesn't want to grow here? And you've got more golf courses than anybody. But in Scottsdale, he's working as the golf pro at one of these places, right? So he gets and sits around and golfs all day. There's a whole bunch of guys and gals in here who think that'd be their dream job. Linda tells me, she goes, oh yeah, he was a golf pro over at such and such a place for 10 years. He made $350,000 a year for 10 years, and he quit. Now, how does she know he makes $350,000 a year? Our Nova guy back there knows. Did his lunch for the past 10 years. She's seen his tax returns and W-2s. This guy made $350,000 net and quit playing golf. Big old handsome fella. You think to myself, why the hell would you do that? Heck, you hit the lottery with your job. You were the envy of every other dude and lady, and you golf all day. And, oh my God, you're in like the golf capital of the country. And like, what a great thing. Why the hell would he quit? It was so funny. Linda told me, she goes, oh yeah, that's really funny why he quit. She goes, he said he couldn't spend another day of his life dealing with rich people problems. Isn't there a part of everybody in here that just says, good for you, stupid move. But good for you for following, your convictions in life. Isn't that great? He said, I would rather talk to somebody about burning their lip on a hot donut than listen to some jackass talk about not having his Bentley and having to rent a Mercedes for another week. Oh, it's so terrible, I don't have my Bentley anymore. It's like, what the? And he finally said, I gotta do this for another day, and he quit. He quit. I said, Linda, this guy, all right, he's handsome, he's totally engaging, he's got an interesting backstory. You know the guy. He's got a sphere of influence of people where you want to do mortgages and sell houses. I go, why don't you interview that guy? Why don't you sit down and talk with him? You know him, you know everything about him, you told me all about him on the way over here. Why don't you sit down and interview that guy? Wouldn't you love to hear that interview? I would. I think it'd be super cool. Well, here's the deal. If she were to, I'm going to make you all social media experts right now. Push one button, just go live, done. Forget it, don't listen to algorithms, all that other crap, just push one button and go live. Facebook's going to put you in front of 100 times people. That's what they're going to do. You're done. Go live, that's all you need to do. What is your content? Linda's content. Why don't you interview this guy? Why don't you interview him about talking about donuts and his backstory, how he got to this point. Other small business owners, the people in your database, not only your past clients, but your existing clients, and even your future clients are going to find that interesting if only you had a way to convert them. This guy's got a built-in story of entry. There's your content. But here's the real takeaway, people. Who's his sphere of influence? All them rich suckers he got sick of listening to the problems about over at that country club. Who thought he walked on water because he was their in-house golf pro. All those people, his last decade, he had been building a database of people that are perfect for you. People with money. Isn't that nice for a change to have somebody who has a 20% down payment? Wouldn't that be great? I mean, our Nova guy in the back room there, wouldn't it be great to have somebody with 20% down and a 780 credit score every now and then? Gee, your back-end ratio is 23, you got a 780 credit score, yeah, we can do this one. Oh, I got a 30-day escrow tote, are you kidding me? I can knock these things down all day long. He's been building her database. Now, if he does an interview with her, and she just asks her friend about how he got where he is in life, she is affecting her past clients, she is affecting her existing clients, she is affecting her future clients, but she is also picking off somebody else's database. I'll tell you, a good marketer markets their own database, a great marketer markets to other people's database. Who here talk about the dogs? Dog person. Who here's the dog person? Who here's the dog person? My dog is my dog. I love my dog. Spoiled beyond belief, but my dog is my dog. And he sleeps on my bed. My 11-year-old daughter tells me every day how she loves the dog more than she loves anybody else. So I get it. My dog is slow to be able to sleep. But, you know, there are dog nuts out there. Nuts! You ever see real estate agents with a picture of their arm around their dog on their business card? Who's got a picture of their dog on their business card, their professional picture, right? You know what? It's always like a lab or a golden retriever. Nobody's got like a pit bull with cropped ears. You know, here's me to stitch. Yeah, right. There's dog nuts here. So let's talk about content and we'll talk about video here. Yes, this is cool. Rob, really? I had one guy in St. Louis, he told me, he goes, oh yeah, I raised Russian Terriers. I'm like, Russian Terriers? I'm like, what's a Russian Terrier? This is dogs the dogs that these Soviets like genetically created during the height of the Cold War when Drago was fighting Rocky in like 1987. These huge dogs, they put Kevlar vests on them. I'm like, he goes, oh, someone big in my house is nuts. He's a real estate agent. I'm like, you bet, but I want one of these for my daughter. Because my daughter likes to go running. I'd like to see somebody try to kidnap her. Yeah, one of these dogs. Oh, have fun. I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna get some popcorn. This is gonna be great. But there are dog nut people out there. So let's think about a video. You dog. By the way, how many dog parks are in Tucson, Arizona? 24. I looked it up. Real easy when I was sitting here. 24 dog parks in Tucson, Arizona. I bet there will be a 25th because all you people are dog crazy. Now let's say that you with your dog park, you decided to shoot a video and you're going to post it on Facebook because the only thing you need to do is press one button, go live. You're ready, you're going. You'll be in front of 1,000 people. And if you were to do a video and it said something like, hey, this is Brian Stevens over here at ABC Real Estate and I'm in Tucson, Arizona. I don't know if you know about this, but they just opened up a new dog park and it's located over here on the intersection of Heart Attack and Vine. And it's open from sun up to sundown, and they have little bags for your dogs, and the weather is fabulous. I'm going to be out here this week and walking my dog, so if you don't want to watch 15 hours of Law & Order reruns on A&E for your Saturday and get up and see some sunshine, check me out at the dog park. What a great little message. Oh, shoot, forgot my call to action. Then you want to say, and of course, I've been doing real estate here for 20 years in Tucson, Arizona, and you want a great negotiator if you're buying or selling, and I'm your guy. Not like that, but you get the idea. I'm that guy, right? Now, you send this out to your sphere of influence. Okay, this table is your sphere of influence, okay? It could be 10 people. Let's just say times 1,000, because you got 1,000 people and you're not amazing. All right, so how many people are dog nuts here? Well, let's see, how many people won't raise their hand no matter what? It's a trick question, right? Because you won't raise it, you get never mind. Okay, how many dog nuts? Okay, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's all right. Okay. Now the other people, they probably have dogs, but kind of like me. I'm more worried about my 11-year-old daughter these days than the dog. The dog is too more worried about her than me, because he sleeps under her bed and will not come around me when she decides to go to her bed, which is great. Okay, so we got 5 dog nuts here. Now you just talked about this new dog park because this is what you like, and people default to what they like to do. People default to what they like and like to do. So your marketing. Here's the trick, needs to be stuff you like. Okay, now 5 people are going to look at your video in your database. They're not going to be offended by it, you know. You're not over there going, build the wall, don't build the wall, don't do that. You're over there saying, we got a dog park. It's got a wall around it. All you people away from us. Okay. So, we got 5 people over here who are cool with the message, and you have your call to action. See, all you care about is your call to action. Because now you're a database marketer. And let's talk about leverage ratios. You want to call people all day long? Horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Good, but not fun. So now we've just cloned your message and sent it to 200 people. It took you 15 minutes to do. Awesome. Great use of your time, by the way. High five. So now 5 people, they got your call to action. That's cool. Now the other 5 people, 2 or 3 of them are real dog nuts, and they're going to send it to their sphere of influence over here. But here's the cool thing. You're a dog nut. And you have a higher concentration of dog nut friends. Okay? Now you're saying, hey, there's a new dog park over here. Check out the video. This is our neighborhood. You're seeing things that are very familiar to you. Now I got a whole bunch of people. Here's the cool part. You guys does not know who the person who sent the Trojan horse over to you. You don't know this person, right? Because now we are 2 databases in. You're talking about dogs, but really all you want to talk about is what you do for a living. It's quite self-serving. Nothing wrong with that. Great content, but very self-serving. And now 7 of you like it, and then all of a sudden 2 or 3 of you share it. And now you guys are over here. The next thing you know, that little video has got legs that will go on forever. Forever and ever. Now we could be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 databases in. Forget about the dog park. This person just heard that you're the best real estate agent in Tucson. You've been here for 20 years. You're a great negotiator, and to contact you. Forget about the dog park. You are a database behind 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 a database. God knows how many people we influence. I'll tell you this. When I started shooting my show 10 years ago, it was when the housing market, really went bad. And me and my business partner, Frank Ray, we were just two dudes struggling with the same stuff you guys were. How do I make my house payment? Here's a little sales nourishment. Go get them. We did it on this thing called YouTube that nobody had ever heard of, right? Have you seen this video thing? Can we shoot a video? Sure can. Let's do it. We sent it out to 15 real estate agents to try to stay in front of them. And a month later, we had 1,000 people watching every day. And we said, how does that happen? Tony Ray just explained it to me, you see. I now know what a virus is. I think I caught one a couple days ago. Can you hear my voice? I'm serious. So now, 10 years later, we're 200 million views in. Now, not every lender watches my video in this country, but I promise you there's a lender in every office in every state in this country who watches my video. Little old Vacaville. Isn't that an odd thing? I haven't spent one dime on marketing. Not one. This is what I do. I talk about dog parks. And I let everybody else share my message. My dog park is the mortgage and real estate industry and its sales. But I talk about the world through my eyes. That is essentially all I do. Now, what can we talk about? Tony Ray can talk about that fabulous restaurant we went to last night. Okay, just if you want to, you don't have to, but I have a whole set of slides on a Google Doc Cloud flyer-based PPT. What does that mean? I have all these different fabulous flyers that you guys can customize that are all built, and I'll send that to you for free. It's cloud-based, so I gotta send you guys an email. If you'd like to have 5,000 different flyers that you can go ahead and customize with a couple of tweaks, do me a favor, text books right now, grab your phone, and text books to 33655. The other thing that I decided to do this year is I've never read a sales book, so I figured I'm going to read all the good sales books. So I formed a book club around the country with real estate agents and lenders, and we all video chat with each other, and we're going to take and read 20 books for 2019. 20 of the best sales books, and we're going to have real-life applications of how this affects your business. So every week we get together on a private Facebook page, and we do a Zoom video chat, and we go talk about books. And at the end of 2019, if you don't close any more business, don't worry, you're going to have read more books. Okay? And if you want to, it's free of charge. All you have to do is text books to 33655. Now, let me ask you, who here is not going to text that? I promise you I'm not going to say anything, I'm not going to point you out, I'm not going to ridicule you too bad. Just kidding. How many people are not going to text it? And it's okay. I'm totally okay with it. How many people just, no, I'm not doing it. No, there's somebody in here. Come on, please. There's somebody. I know there's somebody in here. I've never had 100% conversion. Who won't do it? Okay, one person won't do it. That's fair. Who won't do it? I got one. I got two.
How many texts am I going to get?
Huh?
How many other texts am I going to get?
Oh, that's so funny. We got two people. How many people aren't going to? I'm not going to spam you, by the way. How many people? Okay, I'm not going to spam you, but I could. Because what I just did, if you texted that, I just captured your phone numbers. I have a text code assigned to it, it's books. I have a date and time stamp, I know where I am, I know who you are. I'm going to put you in funnels, I'm going to put you on drip campaigns, and I'm going to clog up your email like nobody's business. I'm going to join the ranks of Norwegian cruises on your email, of Walgreens, of diet plans. I'm going to be a spammer to you. I can also spam you on your phone as well now. And I can do this until you buy what I'm selling you or you turn me in. I'm not going to do that. But we could do that. Now, here's the deal. Everybody knows how to text, don't they? Here's what the market's doing, by the way. Here's my official market forecast. This is what I tell lenders, too. When I go to speak to lenders, I tell them, I say, here's what's happening with mortgage rates. Here's what NAR says about existing hotels, and here's what I make them. What's something like that. But can we move on? This is boring. It doesn't affect us. And it's... All right, we'll get back to this. What do I have on here? I don't even know. This is exciting. Hold on. Oh, okay. We're going to get back. I promised Tony we're going to talk about exactly what you want to talk about. You want me to talk about, but I want to get there first. How much time do I have? I'll get off as soon as you say leave. Just go get the hook and just drag me off like the Gong Show.
Go for 5 more minutes, and then I'll wrap up the seller stuff.
Okay, so the video video is what you need to shoot. You don't need to shoot a video, people. You need to shoot videos. What do you need to talk about? Look at your sphere of influence. Look at your ecosystem. Go find your Linda Hall golf pro. Go to your Thai restaurant. Go to the breakfast place. Go to where you take your kids horseback riding. Go to your dog parks. Find the people who do this stuff because everybody has a sphere of influence and you want to attack their database in a way that is mutually beneficial. You can build an audience by doing this. Marketing is simply building an audience and compelling them to do something. That's it. If you distill it down to its most concentrated form, it is get an audience just like you and compel them to do something. Last I checked, I got 99.9% of you to do what I wanted you to do. And if I chose to, I could market you to death. Now, we want to be responsible with our marketing, but I knew I would get this response from you because I was put up here in a position of authority, okay? And then I offered you something free of charge that I think is going to be of interest to most salespeople, and I knew that I'd get a high buy-in because I thought this thing through. But now all I did was tell you something. So what if we could take the video that you're going to shoot and we could add your text code over to this, so when you're talking to your Thai restaurant folks or your donut guy, have a conversation with them. Facebook will give you the audience. You need to have a way and a short code to capture that person's information. I'll show this to you real quick. This gal's name's Monica Jones. She works at Cross Country Mortgage, your competitor. Not down here though. She's really great. She's a fantastic lender. So this is her first video she ever did. She was nervous, so I did an interview and we talked about boring stuff. Real estate, boring. If you're not in the throes of buying a house and getting a refinance, do people really care about what you sell? I don't think so. Boring. And then we produced a Facebook Live and added a text code, and I created what I call a reveal. So my reveal is, hey, if you want my top home buying tips, text Monica to 33655. And when you do that, you better get something, and you do. But now this is part of my Facebook Live. Remember I told you Facebook is going to build your audience for you if you go live. They won't if you don't. So in her very first video, she got 1.1 thousand views. Pretty cool. I thought so. And you converted about, I see, here's one to see how it says 734. That says April 9th at 2:11. Later on in the day, it went up to 1.1 thousand views. It just keeps working for you. You're cloning yourself. You're working on your leverage ratios. What did she convert at? Here's what she converted. She converted 93 people did that. 93 people wanted her top home buying tips. Wouldn't those be 93 great people for you guys to talk to? People who are tuning into real estate stuff and want to find out what your top home buying tips are? Be a pretty cool thing. Here's her second video. She loves the picture, so I can have it over. You know what I do videos, you get this? So for do's and don'ts, we got this whole thing going on over here. I was actually flying down to Phoenix, Arizona, and I had to leave. This is 3 hours later. Here's a screenshot of our phone. Someone I went to high school with watched reached out on our videos, and I said, from the video, she said yes. I said, better heck yes. I said, okay, I wonder if this is my one. It's my one because we were seeing how effective this would be. So, the big guys, how important is, to get back to what Tony Ray said, how important is it for you to establish and really build your own identity and share other people? It's not only a good thing to do, it's the only thing to do. Particularly for what the market calls for right now when you're looking at the mega automation machines and companies that are out there right now. As I told you, you have a micro problem. You're being sold a macro solution to your micro problem. Fight on your terms. Leverage what you have. Your sphere of influence. Share it. Go live on video. Get yourself a text code. This is all easy to do. And really, if you think about this, let's just stop for a second. The only thing I've asked you to do is find the things that you like most in life that really reflect who you are and the people who inspire you the most that you run into for whatever it may be, and have a conversation with them. That's not so hard. That's not hard at all. And it's the most effective thing that you'll do. You can do. So anyways, if you did text that, you can get in my book club. I will send you those flyers. And I have a presentation that better explains this stuff when we have more time. And I'll make sure to send that over to Tony Ray and you guys. So with that said, for the few of you who've seen my show before, super awesome. Totally appreciate it. For those of you who don't, it's an extra realestatepost.com. It's every day. And if anyone has any questions afterwards, I'm going to be hanging around. I'm here till tomorrow morning. So thanks for your time. I appreciate it.
Thanks, B.
Thank you.
Awesome stuff, eh? Okay, so I get 20 minutes to run through what we can do with sellers and how to use listings effectively. So I promised you, you asked about the website because we're talking about the Moo business cards. So the website, the company is called Listing Booster. Listing Booster is actually can you explain this to me? Is it your invention?
Yeah, so Listing Booster is a product that was designed for real estate agents and lenders. We have a relationship with 800 multiple listing systems around the country, including all the ones in Arizona. And we have direct feeds from, Realty and a number of the big players out there. So we have automation capabilities. So we do what a lot of you already do. We create single property websites, virtual tours, videos, short codes on our properties, all the stuff that you expect, okay? What we do differently is we actually put a short code on every property in the country. So we do 1.8 million short codes every single day. We sweep 800 MLSs on the hour, every hour. But the most important thing that we do is we take your listings and we put this thing called lead capture on it. So when you're posting with Listing Booster on your wall and somebody says, boy, that's a great house, I want to look at it, and then they look at your listing, and then they never call you because they don't want to talk. Okay? And then somebody else is marketing and snares them, all the stuff that Tony Ray's talking about. On Listing Booster, it'll gray out your single property website and say, if you'd like to see this house, you have to log in through Facebook or give us your email. So we won't even show them your listing until we capture that person's information. What we've discovered is, frankly, it's a good filtering process because now we don't get as many looky-loos. And our lead gen, by capturing people interested in the listings that you have in your local market, has gone absolutely just crazy. Crazy. We generate hundreds, if not thousands, of leads on listings over the course of a week on individual real estate agents. So having lead capture is a huge, huge benefit because now rather than somebody just looking at your property, they're going to look and give you their information. That allows you to hunt them down so you can sell your listings for top dollar as quick as possible.
Done. So, did you get all that? So let me tell you the other side of it. So Listing Booster is it's the thing that I do differently that gets me the listing against anybody else. There's two things that come with Listing Booster that changes my listing presentation. And that is that I get to tell the client I'm going to make a virtual tour for them and I'm going to give them their own URL and I'm going to build a website for them and I'm going to follow up with lead capture, people that could be interested that aren't getting the attention they need. And I'm going to present that to the client, and are you? I just went up, there was a little house on Swan Road for $500,000. 6 interviewed agents, all of them in the top 100. All 5 brought in a book, and they all put the book down, and they all had a beautiful presentation of everything about them and their company. And that's what they did. And I walked in, and this house had been on the market for 6 months, and the house did not get but 2 showings in 6 months for $500,000. And they asked the owners, the last agent, asked the owner to drop the price to $475,000, and they did. And they did not sell the house or get any more showings. 5 books are on the counter when I walk in. I'm the 6th agent in. And I took a piece of paper on a pad, and I said, let's talk. And he said, well, where's your presentation book? And I said, I don't do presentation books. And he said, why not? And I said, that's not about you, that's about them. And I said, we need to figure out what's going on and if I can even help you. Because I don't know that that's the case. We might have a problem here that I can't fix. So let's figure out what's going on and then we'll fix it. So we sat and we talked and I interviewed him and we wrote a lot of stuff down. And when I was done, he said, will you tell me how you market? And I said, not today. I said, we'll do that a different time. I said, you've got their books. I'm sure you know how they market. But I need to put a plan together for you that's specific to your house. So let's meet up and I'll go over it with you and I'll show you what we're going to do. So I went back and I looked at the property and I raised the price up from $475,000 back to $500,000. And I gave them a presentation on a computer. And what I showed them was a Listing Booster website that I did for another property. And I showed them the color flyers that come with the product. And I showed them the text and the call capture and all the things I was going to do for them that was different than the stuff they had already heard. But I also told them, I'm not running magazine ads. I'm not running anything paper. because that's traditional and that's not where the buyer is. The other ones had promised them other media, which was paper. And they looked at me and they said, no one's even talked to us about this stuff. And they said, you are our agent. We listed the property. I had them do their homework. We staged the house, got a good photographer, listed the property, raised the price. We had 15 showings the first weekend and 4 offers. Different, right? Thank you. There's 2 components to this. Is one, because I have Listing Booster, I also have a product called Key Boom, and Key Boom puts the listing with Listing Booster up on television. Has anybody got a new TV? So I just, my whole system just went down. It was just joyous. And so I had to go, have you ever gone and bought one lately? Oh, so had to go to 3 stores to figure out how to hook up this to that, and what goes together. So I ended up buying some new fancy television, QLED. Does that sound right? 4K, $4 billion, that's all I know. And so I got the TV home and light it up, and right on the TV is all those cute little apps. And it says Key Boom right on my TV screen. And I click on Key Boom, and all my listings are right on top, right in front of the world. You just click on Tucson, Arizona, and all these listings are there. I have Listing Booster. I'm on Key Boom. Guess who the featured listing is? It's a $1.1 million property that I have listed in San Vacas, shows up #1 on Key Boom as featured, because I'm with Listing Booster. So the product now becomes more for my seller when I'm telling them what I do for them. I have a 2-page list of everything I'm going to do for them when we market their home. I tell them, this is my guarantee. Susie, I'm gonna do every item on this list for you, and I'm also gonna do what I call guerrilla marketing. As we work together, I'm gonna find new avenues and niches that we're gonna go after. Where do you work? Raytheon. Do you have break rooms? Awesome, let's talk about that. I'm going to change their marketing, but I do guarantee this list. And when they see that I'm putting them on TV and I'm building a website and I hand them a business card with a URL for them to share with their friends, it's the difference between me and the other realtor, right? So my marketing is strong, and then the other difference is that I sit down with them and I actually listen. And what did we talk about before? They don't care what you know until they know you care. So I don't tell them what I know, ever, until we get to that point. And that point for me is when we get into what I call the red. If I'm having a conversation with you and we start breaking down the Ford sample there, we get going, and then you start talking to me about pain. You start talking to me about goals, dreams, issues that are emotional, I'm going in the red with her. And when she breaks down and she gets to that point that she's willing to go in the red with me, I'm getting her trust. I'm the one she's gonna remember, because we have a connection. And this is the same thing that I'm asking you to do with all your COI. You're going to treat your seller the exact same way. We treat them with the respect that they are our best friend. I have had people in front of me, we've gone into the red, and I've had very emotional situations where we have people break down crying because we've dug deep to find out what's going on. At that point, I am better to serve them than anyone because I know how to, right? And that's what and Brian was talking about, is we've got to get back to this connection with people, because when we give them that reverence, that we sit down with them and we actually care enough to stop presenting all the crap we think they should know and ask them what we need to know, that's different. That's a different seller. That's a different selling presentation. It's completely it's not what's happening out there. And Brian always talks about when everybody goes to this right, you all go left, right? And I hope that you'll start watching his show, because you're gonna see really fun stuff that he talks about daily about this stuff. But for sellers, it's imperative to have this information on how you're going to help them, because when you present that in a list, and you show them your marketing and you've shown them they care, I guarantee you're gonna start winning more listings, and other realtor that you went up against will have no idea why. None. So On the seller side, I gave you an idea, which is the business cards, right? And then we have Listing Booster. Now, Listing Booster, Brian, am I right that they would talk to loan officer?
Yeah.
So, Tom, Heath, do you have Listing Booster product?
Here's the thing, we had it, we got rid of it, we're getting it back because we were sold something that was not even close to Listing Booster. We thought it was gonna be better, and we're going back.
So he tried a different product after Listing Booster, and now he's back to and these two don't know this. He doesn't know this, and okay. So you will call Tom, or call him, or talk to him here. RESPA has a situation where you can't pay more than he does for anything. So Listing Booster has it set up so they share.
Can I make it easier for everybody here?
Yeah.
So, for your RESPA compliance, it costs a real estate agent 80 cents a month. So it's like $10 a year. It's just nothing. And it's by design. And I poke fun at the CFPB quite a bit, so we are very concerned about our position on compliance because probably they send us nasty letters, so I kind of figured that they would want to come after our products. So we're very, very concerned about compliance. We take a very compliant approach. We don't break rules. We don't bend rules. Now, if you would like to be Tom's Listing Booster account, because we have to get it set up first, if you did text the books to 33655, if you do text that right now, and again, don't worry about the landing page and what you're looking at, but what I'll do is that'll allow me to capture everybody's phone number here, and then I will get you guys sent over invitations so we can get you guys all uploaded into the account. So we'll just stack the account with everybody in this room, and then what we can do is we'll put together a presentation, all of us here, to show you guys how to use it more effectively. So that's just, instead of gathering cards and doing all the phone calls, we'll just centralize where everybody's number's at, and then we'll one fell swoop jump you guys all in the account so we can get you guys up and running next week.
Wait, what I just heard was Brian's coming back. This is awesome. So what I'm hearing is we can do a class to help them understand how to use this product. You guys can help, we'll train them, and then you guys will understand all about how to take listings and create more business. That's a whole nother class.
Oh, totally.
That'd be great.
If we can do it, we can do it two ways, Tony, right? If you wanted to, we can certainly figure out how to get back here and do like a deep dive class.
Yeah.
But because of time, if we want to get this up and running sooner or later, is I can send out like a Zoom link to everybody here. We can do a video chat with screen sharing and just walk you guys through it. And then between Tony Ray, myself, and all of us, we have enough support to make sure we'll get you guys all up and running.
Okay, so, and everybody, that's awesome, right? Yeah. Nice, that's beautiful. So, we'll become part of Zoom World, and Tom and Brian will chat about this and make this happen for anybody who wants to get involved. The other thing about having the Keyboom account, I believe, plus the Listing Booster, they both come together when you are in Listing Booster.
Yeah.
Then you get a flyer program on each, right? It's
do.
different on each because I remember
It is.
I can never make up my mind. So you get colored flyers already done. That's another component. So if you have a seller in the home that can feed the flyer box, because we don't go do that anymore, we have them do it, that you would be able to create the flyers for them. So you've already got full color flyers ready to go. So that's another component of your offer to that seller. Does that make sense? And now you get to use your Moo cards, and now you get to, I don't want to go over your head too far on this, but everybody understand what a Facebook audience is? Anybody who does know a Facebook audience? Okay, I got a couple of you. Basically, a Facebook audience is this. I can go right now and I can get in front of my audience, which is my 100 people plus their 100. That's my audience. My tribe is on Facebook, right? Yours is on yours. I could also create an audience that says, I want people that are interested in Tucson, Arizona, that are also interested in real estate, and they have well, they don't do that anymore. That you can, they're between the ages of 25 and 90. I can make an audience. And I could tell Facebook to send, I'll give them $5 if you send my little post into that audience, okay? Now, with lead capture, every single email and lead that comes in, who likes to cold call them? Okay, you don't have to if you don't want to. You should email them, call them something, and make sure they don't want help. But the reality is, I can now take all of that information coming in, I hand it to Gonzo. Gonzo feeds it back up into Facebook. He creates our Facebook audience that's called Interested in Buying a House. And then every time I post anything that I want them to see, I pay $5 to Facebook and I push it to that audience. Now, they don't really know me yet, but they've seen my website on Listing Booster and they've seen my face a couple times somewhere, and then all of a sudden, no matter where they go on Facebook, there's that freaking stupid guy with the iguana, right? And they're following me around, but I'm tracking them through Facebook. So there's really massive power on being seen over and over and over, and it's super cost-effective and inexpensive. So we tested out this algorithm the other day on Facebook. I had a post. Kids called me and said they were starting a kickball team and they wanted to know if I'd help them. So I created a kickball team post with Gonzo. We made a little headline and then we put the post up, and I called 3 people and I said, I'm testing the algorithm to see if it still works. I want to know if we can organically get some reach. And so I had 3 people jump on the post and talk on the thread, and they had a conversation. And by the following day, what did we have, 3,600? Yeah. 3,600 people on the post and 35 shares. So I said to him, throw $20 at it and see what happens. So he put a $20 bill on it, and then we are at 8,000 or 9,000 now. 8,000 or 9,000 people are on that post. 2 of them immediately spoke up in the post line and said, holy crap, didn't know Tucson had a kickball team. We're moving there soon. So what did Gonzo do? Gonzo jumped in and said, I have the best realtor for you. And he put my name and information on the thread. 2 of them that came in, both of them have called me within this week. Both of them coming here to see us on a post. So viral and all of that fun stuff does work. It's just a matter of playing with it and getting in there. Do you guys getting overwhelmed? I see the eyeballs are going down. I could go on and on. We haven't covered probably half, and this is always the way it's going to be because there's so much out there. I do just listed postcards. I do all that stuff. You can see what I do here. I would like all of you, before we leave, to look at your the 6 marketing ideas. Everybody, the email idea that I have for you to get in front of your clients and something that works is a product called HomeBot, HOMEBOT. You have that? No? Huh? HomeBot? HomeBot product. Stop distracting him. HomeBot is a product, again, it's a product that you pair with a loan officer. It is an email, it's a leave it, you set it up and leave it, you upload your database and you put it in the email system and it emails them every month. Does anybody know, maybe Brian, you know, what the expected open rate is that is a good open rate on an email? Anybody, what's expected? What is it? 17%?
Oh, I think you're doing pretty good at 17, probably.
17 is a high. So if 17% open up your email, that is great. So we're super excited because like our emails, we get somewhere from 20 to 25% on my niche emails that I send out. HomeBot. I started HomeBot 6 months ago. I send out the HomeBot. It does it for me. Every time we have a new buyer close, we put them into the HomeBot system so they then can monitor their house. This toy is amazing. Let me tell you, 6 months in a row, 92% open rate. They don't let it go. They get into the HomeBot system and they click on all these little toys. It says, if you paid $100 more a month, you would save $6,000 and you would pay off your mortgage in 28 years. And they can click down the little thing, what if I paid $600 extra a month? And it calculates it for them. It tells them your equity position right now in that home is this. The value of your home is this. If you refi right now, do a 15-year because you'll save this amount of money. If you want to go Airbnb, do this. If you want to go long-term rental, do this. By the way, you can move out right now. You have equity. It tells them everything about their house. One of my millennials just called me and he said, it's like the stock market every morning. When I get your email, I open it up because I'm so excited to see what my house is doing. I've never seen a product like this. I make no money to endorse this product. I will tell you right now, it is the best email I've ever sent. It is amazing. When they want any information, they click a button. It says, hey, do you want to know what this is? Or do you want to dispute your pricing? They click it and it sends me an instant message. Tony Ray, they don't like their CMA. What does that give me? Golden opportunity. Pick up the phone, call them, go walk through whatever they've done for upgrades and send them a CMA. It'll send messages out to the loan officer. It asks for pre-quals. It does everything, and it lets them play the whole time. Tom can show you HomeBot for email, okay? What else do I have on there? Social media, we know we're gonna post, that's easy. Text, 12 times a year, I can send out a text. I send out a text and say happy hour tomorrow night. I sent out 50 texts to my top 50 people. 48 showed up the following day. We had happy hour. I bought the appetizers, so I wasn't liable for alcohol. They bought their own alcohol. They stayed for 3 hours. I did it at the Aloft Hotel in their lobby area. It cost me $100 to throw a party for 50 people, and I did not clean up the mess. Telling you, text messaging rocks. I text them on random weird holidays. I text out my top 100. I just text them. I text them to tell them I'm thinking about them. Whatever it is, I use text. So I want you to make a plan for ideas around what you can text your clients. And do it when you're in the parking lot waiting for someone to come out of the grocery store. We talked about phone calls and snail mail. How did we do today? Does everybody have some idea of what you're going to do on that top 6? Is everybody good? How did we do? Yes? Okay, I'm going to talk to the association, see if we can't get another one of these together for you. We'll do newsletters. And anybody have any questions right now, must have answered about marketing and advertising? Good? All right, hope you all had a great time and have a great lunch.